It's amazing it happened. So my daughter and I and my youngest son, who is 10 with autism and a genetic disorder, went on a trip. We went to Great Wolf Lodge, and it was awesome. I mean, awesome. So I was doing a subscriber video earlier, and I said, you know, I want to always be truthful, but I don't want to be negative either, particularly if someone invites me to come somewhere or it's a work partnership. This was not a work partnership. This was just me showing up like, you know, we're Joey McJoserson, and which is kind of nice because then you're under no obligation. Like if somebody hosts you, it's kind of hard to say like, oh, this place sucked. So anyway, it was nice. A friend of mine and I went. They had a great special at Great Wolf Lodge. If you hadn't been to one, it's an indoor water park. I think they have them all over the country. I don't know where they all are. I've only been to that one, and it was super fun. But so we got this room, and it was $92 a night plus resort fees or whatever. And it was, so that's a pretty good price. So other times, parts of the times of the year, it might be $600 or whatever. And it's in Williamsburg. So we were out of school, not one day, not 2 days, but 3 days. I love to be out of school because it's fun. No, it's not. So why was I saying that? Oh. So we go to Great Wolf Lodge, and I have been before, but when I talk about this kind of stuff, I want families like mine. Now, I don't have a child with a physical disability, so I'm not hauling a wheelchair around. So I cannot tell you what it would be like for you, but I can tell you what it would be like for somebody like me, and how it is now. So Amos, we went to Great Wolf Lodge on his 7th birthday. He's now 10. And when we went on his 7th birthday, my husband and I both went, and he detested the lazy river. He liked there's like a little tiny kid area, like a toddler area. And then there's like a bigger kid area, could maybe be like ages 4 to 9. And then there are the big slides. So Amos really liked the medium kid area. Last time he only wanted to be on the big slides, and he hated the lazy river. This time he loved the lazy river. He just wanted to be in the lazy river for hours. So we showed up yesterday. We got there at about 1:15, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. There was a slight buzzkill, and that would be the funniest title of a video. Great Wolf Lodge buzzkill. But we're going to try to be positive because that's, you know, who I pretend to be. Just kidding. We got there at 1. They let us check in our room early, which is super nice. So you didn't have to go in those kind of scary bathrooms, you know, that are always anywhere when you have to put a bathing suit on. And she was like, your room is ready. It was on the main floor. It was awesome. It was easy to get around. So we went right in, got our bathing suits on, and kapooey, went to the water park. Well, my daughter Blair, who is 14 and who is always wanting me to buy her something new, she was really helpful. She hauled him around and did stuff. Well, then he got I kind of watched him in the lazy river. And I noticed he would kind of touch people's floats, but then there were other little kids flipping his float over. And he wasn't that rough, but he was talking to people. And for the most part, people were pretty friendly. Now, I think today something happened. I didn't hear what it was. So he told me the bad lifeguard, said something. And maybe he was doing something, which is likely. He was probably doing something that was annoying to someone else, and the lifeguard, told him to knock it off. Well, then he was foul. But he was already kind of annoyed because we were going to have to go home, and he had wanted to go for 9 nights. Now, I was saying earlier, I never knew this was a thing. So with Amos, I think it's anxiety. I really think it's anxiety, and he takes medicine for anxiety. But he needs you to lie to him to make him feel better. So if he says, we're going to go and stay 9 nights, you have to say, yes, it's going to be 9 nights. Autistic boy tased by police today. Oh, I hate to hear something like that. Gosh. And anyway, so he says, so when it was time to leave today, he was foul and he was cussing. And now other people might be like, well, I wouldn't let him say, F-ity, F-F. But he's just trying to wrap his mind around, I don't want to leave. I like being here. So we just sort of let that go. We don't pay much attention. Hey. And he had a great time. And I was like, oh, well, I didn't even need my husband this time. But somebody pointed out, they're like, well, you had Blair. Well, this is true. So I would say if you're ever going to take, your child with autism, they're kind of traditional autism in my mind, I would definitely make sure you have an extra adult. Particularly if you have other children you have to watch. I had a 14-year-old, so I wanted to spend time with her, but I didn't have to worry for her safety. The only thing I had to worry about was her getting kicked out of the adult hot tub, which didn't happen until today. And she'd been in it like 9 times, twice with me. But I was like, I'm not going to pretend I know you if they come over here and kick you out. But you know who kicked her out? My children love to call me a Karen. I would just like to say a woman in the hot tub raised her hand to tattle. Now, I have done a lot, but I have never done that. Does he have any triggers to cause a meltdown? I'm so tired I can't answer it right now. Yes, there are triggers, but what we're noticing with him, or what I'm noticing with him and then reporting to my husband, is that one trip, and I've known this for years, there's never enough. Like if you go on this train, he wants to go on another train. Or if you go on the airplane, like we could be on American Airlines and he is talking about wanting to go on JetBlue or wanting to go on United, or this last time we saw an Emirates place and then he wants to go on Emirates. He's always going to the next thing. You've taught your children to break the rules. Yeah, I have. Well-behaved women never made history. Did you know that? We did go on a cruise by ourselves. Yes, that's right. I blocked that out. That was not easy. I would not necessarily recommend that. If you go on a cruise by yourself with a small person with autism, 2 nights is plenty. We went 3. He loved it, and I wanted to do that for him. But this trip was really enjoyable. He was locked in a enclosed space. I had a very good friend with me with her 2 boys. We have carpooled with them for years. Her husband used to physically carry Amos into preschool for years. We are not great, ideal people to carpool with. So they know us, and their boys know us and love Amos and think he is wonderful. And he says, efferbot or whatever, and nobody pays any attention. So be the kind of friend. It's just so nice. I cannot tell you how nice it is to have a friend that is so accepting. it's life-changing. It's life-changing. And I have several friends like that. And I am so appreciative of people that laugh with me and don't give me pity and just are like, well, whatever. I mean, tonight I needed a babysitter or nanny. I didn't know I had to go to a meeting with my daughter. This is totally off topic, but there was a meeting at school that you had to be at. Now, you probably could have missed it, but for my 14-year-old, she is, you might say she's a rule breaker, but when it comes to school stuff, she's a rule follower. And I had to go to this meeting at school, and I didn't have anybody to watch him. And so I called my husband and said, can you go ahead and leave work and meet me at the school, get him so I can go to this meeting? Yes, I can do that. Well, then I decided, well, maybe he could get babysat by a friend of mine's daughter who's 13. And he didn't want to do that. Well, then he did. And they kept him, put off their family dinner. Anyway, just really nice. But when I picked him up, he was like, and now we're going to the airport. And I was like, yep. And my daughter was like, how are we going to get him out of the car? I said, I have no idea. I just know that right now we have to carry on with the lie and keep moving forward. And so I don't say like, yes, we're going to the airport. I just sort of try to avoid the conversation generally. And it's only about 3 blocks from our house. And as we're getting home, he said, I need water. And Blair said, well, we'll get some, we can get some at home. And I said, yeah. And then I heard him say to himself, we're going home. You're going home. And he got out of the car with no problem. I mean, you could have knocked me over with a feather. But then tonight, so he has dinner. I said, we're going to go take a shower. And after the shower, we're going to the airport. And what word comes after T-O? I was like, I have no idea. He said, what word comes after T-O? I said, I don't know. He goes, T-O night, tonight. I mean, I was like, Amos, you're so clever. So we go up, take a shower, get his medicine, his melatonin, take a long hot shower. Now we're not going to bed. We're going to the airport. I said, let's get your jammies. I've got on my new pajamas. They're Gap from TJ Maxx. And he's saying, now we're going to the airport. I said, now what do I have on? And he said, you have on your flying clothes. I said, well, I have on my pajamas. No. And now he sleeps in his clothes for the night before. So we don't put on pajamas when we have school the next day. And so he said, you're not going to bed. I said, well, it's time for night. And I turned on the fan and I got the pillows off the bed, the same thing we do every night. And he's standing there like this. You're going to the airport. I mean, and I just got in bed and laid down and he stood around and stood. And I turned off all the lights. And after a few minutes, he got in bed beside me. And I said, and now we have 2 more days of school. No school. So all I have to do is say it. I just have to tell him. And then I can go back to pretending with him, People are always worried about me wearing glasses. So these are reading glasses. I don't know if y'all know it, but you can get reading glasses at like CVS, Walgreens, Posh Pelican, Z&Z, Peepers. You can get $1 reading glasses or $30 reading glasses. I don't know what these are, but I like them. But I have a lot of pairs. I probably have 10. And I might have 10 pairs of real glasses too. My dad was an optometrist. It's like in my blood to wear. It's fashion. Like people wear shoes. So I'm sure tomorrow is going to be hard. I'm sure it's going to be hard. not too hard. And because I have a meeting starting at 9, Zoom, that I need to be ready for. And so that's going to be good. And we are going to think positive thoughts of getting him. I'm going to send his teacher a message, and hopefully we will get to school in the morning. But if you're asking about, if you're wondering about Great Wolf Lodge, I would tell you, definitely take an extra person. And if you have a child with autism, you know this, take multiple bathing suits, because ain't nobody like to put on a cold bathing suit. If you're me, check the size of the bathing suit before you get there, because I had 2 of the same bathing suits. I thought, black one and a blue one. And the bathing suits, one big and fit great. Well, I got to do my trick. In one bathing suit, it did not fit. The blue one was a teensy bit small. Gained a yitsy bit of weight back. So I had that thing sucked up on me, and there wasn't any getting out of it. I didn't have to worry about it fall down. And anyway, we did the tornado, we did the wave pool, we did the hot tub, we did the tornado again. I did the lazy river for 10 hours. My friend Elizabeth talked, had fun with some 14-year-olds. And the other thing I would say, and this isn't about kids with disabilities necessarily, but so my friend went, she has 2 boys, and I had Amos and Blair. And the friend had said, well, you could, get a baby to bring a friend. And I said, you know what? No. Like, one thing in our family I've always thought was important is that you learn to hang out with who you're with. Like, you don't always have to have this perfect setup. Everybody has to have a friend and, all that kind of stuff. Like, they ended up having a great time. And they wouldn't have if you had made it so everybody had a friend, And I like that about where we live, is that we, our kids learn to kind of hang out with lots of people, because we don't have a ton of people our own age. So you have to have friends different ages. Does Great Wolf Lodge have rest periods? No, Sarah. That's such a good question. So Sarah is saying, Sarah is my friend in real life. Sarah is saying that if you're at a pool and suddenly they're like, it's break time, you're like, no, it can't be break time. Now, Sarah, the one thing you have to watch out for, but it did not happen while I was at the Great Wolf Lodge, is that they have, if there's a brownout. Now, do you know what a brownout is? The brownout is when somebody poops in the pool. I'll let the dog in. Are you freezing out there, Honor? But there was no brownout. And there couldn't be a brownout at Great Wolf Lodge, because there's like 4 pools. What is your long-term plan for Amos after your death? Well, that's a light question. I'd like to be one thing. It ain't anything I'm deciding tonight. That's what I think about that question. Yes, we drove there. That is a good question. That is a very good subscriber type question. They simulate emergencies and test the lifeguards. Well, so we did. We saw a baby doll floating, and my friend Elizabeth was like, is that a child? The thing. Well, then I forgot about this. We're leaving. They have a person that makes you check out the towels. The towel checker outer is somebody that annoys me no matter where I go. The last place I went where they checked out towels, so it was at Great Wolf Lodge, a whole person, their whole job is to check out towels. Where else was it? It must have been at another hotel. Oh, I know. It was on Royal Caribbean. So they have these people and all they do is check out towels. Now, you're on a cruise ship. Nobody comes on a cruise ship with empty bags. Who is going to steal the towels on the cruise boat? No one. What, maybe 3? Well, how much do the towels cost based on how much you're paying the person to ding, 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 check the towels? Well, they have the same person at Great Wolf Lodge. And then you get a towel, and then you give the towels back, and they're like, how many towels are you returning? Well, you could be like 982. I mean, they don't look. Well, anyway, we're returning the towels, hoping we hadn't lost a towel. And the baby, the pretend baby, they've just tossed it on the floor. And Amos says, there's a dead baby. Like, oh, that's nice. No, we were in Williamsburg. I was like, no, that's not a dead baby. That's a doll. He said, there's a dead baby doll. And then people are like, dead, baby. So I go over. This is the kind of shit that happens in my life. I go over to pick up. Wish I had a baby doll in here. I go over to pick up the baby doll. The baby is heavy, and its mouth is permanently open, I guess, for CPR. So I pick up the dead baby, and the baby kind of flops. And he said, it is a dead baby. I said, no, it is a baby doll. And I turned it around. And all these people are looking at me like I had lost my freaking mind. And finally, I just went and put the baby back on the floor. It's like, forget it. That was when the day started going awry. Wondering why Amos can't take a shower by himself. These questions are so odd. If y'all are in a conversation with somebody, do you just ask random questions like, when did you have your last menstrual cycle? I mean, it's so bizarre. Have you always been so flexible? I'm pretty flexible. Yeah. I was also kind of naughty. I mean, when I was in the 3rd grade, Miss Rowland, my teacher, put me in the cafeteria trash can. What a great big, gray round trash can. She picked me up and put me in there. I mean, I couldn't get out. And so when I got home, I told my mother, Miss Rowland put me in the trash can. And you know what she said? She didn't call anybody. She didn't, make a fuss. You know what she said? Well, I bet you deserved it. And that was it. Never another word. He did not sleep in the bunk bed. So we had these 3 bunk beds, and I thought, this is going to be great. He's going to sleep in the bunk bed. No. He and I slept on the couch, the rollaway bed. No, seriously, I don't mind questions, but that's why you should be a subscriber. We're going to have regular Q&As. This week on Friday, I have a Zoom with my 1 subscriber group. Zoom, monthly Zoom, just talk. My mother would have said, what did you do? So anyway, we had the dead baby, and then we were getting ready to leave, got dressed, and I was telling my friend Elizabeth, I said, my dryer is, it's got this metal drum in the back of it, so it's burning. If you put in fleece pants, it's imprinting them. So we were ruining clothes. So I guess I need a new dryer. So I'm telling my friend Elizabeth, well, we burnt the pants and we burnt this. So then he has on these fleece pants that I was talking about. They're burning me. I don't need these pants. So we get him on some other pants. And I said, I want to go do a video of the water park because I want people to, instead of just hearing me talk about it, to be like, okay, I want to watch the video and see what it's really like. And like somebody said, good, bad, the ugly, gentle, truthful but gentle if there's something, you know, whatever. So I'm walking around and I'm showing the lobby. I did it this morning. And I'm in the lobby and I'm talking about this great deal that we got, this $92 a night, which when I get a good deal on something, I sort of need people to like congratulate me on the good deal. I mean, and a lot of us are like this, like, oh, I like your glasses. Oh, they were $1, you know, which they say is bad manners, but that's what I do. And so this girl at the front desk is real smiley. And I said, you know, I'm really impressed with myself. I got this room for $92. Is that a good deal? And she said, yes, that is a great deal. I was like, huh, look at there. And I said, now I've heard you sell day passes. And she said, we do. And I said, do they stay the same price or do they vary? And she said, they vary, just like rooms vary. Like Christmas might be obviously more expensive. I said, well, how much was the room at Christmas? She said, I think it was around $600. I said, wow, that makes me feel even better about this room. I said, no, day passes. And I turned the camera around and she can see herself and she's smiling and we're talking. And she says, the cheapest day pass we have is $45. And I said, well, then in that case, you do better to get the room and not spend the night. She was like, well, yeah. Well, then comes this person from like, I'm over here and all's good. Are you videoing? Yes. Now I've got two phones going. I'm going to show you. I'm holding the phone like this. What if I said no? I said, yes. Well, we cannot allow that. I said, well, it's just my subscriber group. And she said, Sandra said, she said, are you live? I said, it's just my family. It's like 3 people. It's like 995. And our Great Wolf Lodge is $500 to $600 a night. Day passes for 5 is $500. Well, Tina, if you go to the Great Wolf Lodge on an off night, like last night, it was $92. My Great Wolf Lodge is the same price. That's the point. You go on a random night when nobody's there and it's cheap. Are you live? And I said, it's 3 people. And then I just I veer off. Well, all my people are dying laughing. And then I go and look through the window. I show Dunkin' Donuts, the gift shop, the Build-A-Bear, the pool, you know, that there's an outdoor area, basketball, wave pool, blah, 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 blah. Come back up the arcade and I turn the video off. Well, because I can't help myself, I marched my tail right back up to that counter. And I said, are you the manager? And she said, yes. And I said, I'm sorry that was upsetting that I was doing that video to you. And she said, well, it wasn't upsetting, but you cannot video unless you've run it by corporate. And I said, well, state law says I can't video. Because it does. And she said, well, that's true. And I said, well, I'm a blogger and it was a really positive, wonderful live until you intercepted it and like called me out like a Hugh Hefner hiding in somebody's closet. And she said, well, we just have very strict rules. I am the manager and these are my wolf cubs. So she's just called this employee that did a great job who's in her 20s a wolf cub. Well, I mean, that seems inappropriate. And I said, well, I thought she did a great job. Well, this is only her 4th day. I said, well, she's very positive. I think she is someone we should model ourselves after. She said, well, I'm going to tell you, it's a problem because if we have an employee here who is escaping a dangerous relationship and someone sees them on your video, their life could be in danger. I said, okay. Well, in that case, then I wouldn't let anybody do any videoing on the property. No, we want people to be able to video. I said, well, you're talking about people's lives being in danger. Are you or are you not? Because everybody and their mother is out there videoing, but they don't have any followers. I mean, that is called finding things to complain about. It's private property. They can employ additional rules. I agree, Rebecca. And so what I said to her is, if you feel this strongly about it, there should be a sign that says, no filming at Wet Walmart. Well, I mean, I'm glad to call security. I said, do you feel insecure? Because I feel fine. I said, I just think you're missing the point that this was like really fun and wonderful and lighthearted. I didn't talk about the dead baby. I wasn't talking about the lifeguard that hurt Amos's feelings. I was being nice and fun. Damn it. And I said, and if I wanted to video and have you not know it, I would have worn my Ray-Ban video glasses. And she said, well, how do I know you don't have them on now? And I said, because these are not Ray-Bans. Damn it. I mean, time to start going back to Target. Now, you know, one time Target got me on filming because I was at Target talking about all the, remember how people went crazy over the transgender friendly clothes? And I went to Target and I was like, you know, if these are a problem for you, go volunteer at your school. And the manager was like, can I help you with something? And I said, you know, I'm trying to shut down all the Karens about this stuff. And they were like, oh, thanks so much. Goodbye. That's a good way to handle it. I'm not saying anybody's an idiot. I'm sure somebody at the tippy tip top said, we're not, if you've got a blogger in here, don't let the news station come in here without permission. But what I would say for businesses is that if you own a business, today is National Customer Service Day. If you own a business, there are all sorts of people who are influencers, trying to be influencers, vloggers, who knows doing what. You have to be ready for your response, and it better be positive. Because we've all seen the video where the person is videoing the police officer who's like, you better put that camera down. Well, it never ends well. Everybody's like, well, he was an asshole. You know? I think everyone should be able to say, please don't film me, but there's a nice way to say it. So if I were going to instruct a business, this could be my new job. Tails 101. I would say to someone, if that happens and someone walks up and they're videoing, then I would assess the situation. Is the person angry? Is the person smiling? Is the person screaming? Is the person laughing? It seems good. If there were questions I couldn't answer, what I would say is, you know what? I have no idea. But write down your email and I'll get it to you. And I'm so glad you're here. Oh my gosh, I've got to get to the back. See you later. Are you live? No, 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 no. Did a baby drown at Great Wolf? Now that is how rumors get started. No, it was a fake doll. Anyway, y'all got me off topic. It wasn't there was no dead baby. It was a pretend baby. Regardless, every other paying family, just like you, was recording. I try not to film small children, get their clothes off. I mean, I'm very careful about not having people, get filmed, right? I am cautious, I never would show a picture at school unless I knew somebody had permission. But if I am at the grocery store, I mean, people get their panties all in a knot over, I don't want to be filmed. Well, you're filmed all the time. Someone is watching you in the dressing room at Rose's. Someone is watching you in the laundry aisle at Food Lion. You are being watched and filmed. So I guess I sometimes think, are you even aware of what's happening in the world? I mean, what do I know? One time I took a picture of somebody and somebody else's license plate was in the photo, and the person reached out and said, my car's license plate is in your photo. And I was like, okay, well, I don't want it in there. I was like, well, I don't even know who you are. I'm allowed to go in a parking lot and take pictures of cars, and I can post them all day long. I mean, I scratched out the number, but I mean, that's nuts. I saw my chubby fanny in your photo, and I don't like it. I was just telling about the daily rate. It was just minding my own beeswax. How do you feel about bringing a family member in the ER room with your family member that's the patient? I don't even know what that means. Do you think you got blackballed? Maybe. When you say $600 a night, is that per person? No. So she was saying the room at Christmas is $600. Our room was $92, $144 with tax for 6 people. So $144 divided by 6 is $24 a person for 2 days of water parkness. I don't, Wet Walmart, I just kind of call it Wet Walmart because Walmart is such an interesting people watching place. And Wet Walmart, Wet Wolf Lodge is very people watchy. I mean, I saw some tattoos that were, I saw this tattoo, and I mean, I don't care if you have a tattoo your face with of a JJ. I really don't care. But the person's back, and it was a big, big man's back. It was a gigantic skull face. And I was saying, well, how do you say, you know what? I want a skull on my back, because if it's on your back, you're never going to see it. Right? If I had a tattoo, I would want to look at it. I'd want it on my neck or my forehead or something. But my back, and a lot of people had them on their tushes, a tattoo hanging out of their bathing suit bottom. Now that would bother me. I'd either want to fully show the tattoo or have the tattoo climbing up to my bathing suit bottom. But a half of, I don't know, a half a jaguar is just not so much fun, Anyway. No, I wouldn't call them tramp stamps. Neck tattoos. I can't get a tattoo. One, they're real expensive. And two, they hurt. I mean, I had Botox and it hurt. I have one on my back and forget that it's there. Yeah, see? I have a tattoo on my shoulder, hip, arm, and ring finger. Well, if anybody has a giant 30-inch skull on their back, I would like to talk about what that means. Because I'm curious. Yep, my double chin. Well, Blair was like, I want to get a tattoo. And I remember I said, I had this friends in college and they're like, we're going to go get dolphins. I was like, these things are going to look like beluga whales when y'all are pregnant. I don't know if they did or not. I have a fear of needles. Well, I ain't into needles either. And then they say it's real expensive to get them off. Okay. Carry on, people. Subscribers, coffee chat tomorrow morning at 8:30. What else do we have? Friday night news, 8 p.m. Saturday, we have the potential hacker on at 10 a.m. Someone's trying to hack me again, and we're going to get them. Carry on, people.